of Strategic Solutions Global, also personal brand strategist. And I am here today because I'm so excited. I have two amazing speakers who are going to be speaking at the I Am Change Empowerment Conference. And for those who don't know, the I Am Change Empowerment Conference is really just a vision. It's really God's vision. And it's really about empowering women all across the globe to fully walk in their identity, who they are, and what they were created for. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you two of our amazing speakers. We have Kayla Live and Lanasia Angelina. And when I say I was excited for this conversation, there was one more person who was supposed to join us, but you three are like powerhouses. And I just know it's going to flow tonight. It really is.
I'm
We'll start,
excited.
Kayla, why don't you go ahead and introduce who you are and what you do?
Of course. Welcome, 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 everybody. My name is Kayla Life. Yes, Life is my real last name. I am founder and CEO of Rebrand Land, Home in the Main Character, where we teach you how to be the center of your story. Very excited about being here and talking to everybody about walking into I Am. That main character is not a syndrome. It is an era. That is what we walk in. This is who we are. We're walking full force into what God's calling is with that kingdom vision mindset. So I am here to help and move forward as best as I can.
Yeah.
I love it.
Go
I
ahead,
love it.
Lanasia.
And somebody already affirmed you at the beginning. Life. I love that so much. So
Thank you. Thank you.
absolutely. So I'm Lanasia Angelina, author of the Balance book, transformational life coach and speaker. And honestly, I'm just a vessel, always available and ready to be used by God in whatever capacity He sees fit at any given moment. My current mission, movement, and ministry is the Black Woman Transform movement. Nancy, you have been able to experience a little bit of that with the podcast. We have a community. And honestly, I am on a mission to be a part of my community's healing, making sure that we are healing our mind, healing our body, healing our souls, and making sure that we are sustaining that change, as you talked about a little bit. So,
Yes.
yeah, I'm excited for this conversation tonight.
Yeah, let's hop right into it. One thing for me, honestly, is finding like what I say, what I was created for. I've been really in this space of peace. That's what I will call it. Not always happy. I'm not going to pretend like, oh my gosh, I'm just so joyful every freaking day, because sometimes I'm ready to resign from the call.
Hang it
Ready
up.
to like, seriously. About 3 days ago, I'm putting 2 week in to myself. Okay.
Yeah.
But I have been at peace. And how important to you ladies is it for women to really find themselves and walk in their I am? It's one thing to know who you are, and we can claim it all day long, but to accept the call on your life, I think, is a whole nother thing. How important is that for you too?
Kayla, you want to start?
Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So, I mean, number one, we all have been given a divine assignment by our Creator, who is God. And the thing about it is, in His creation, He has given provision. He's given
Mm.
direction. He's given provision. So if you submit to that direction, which is the calling over your life, if you submit to that and you follow that path, then the provision is there. And what happens is most people try to chase after the provision. They try to chase after the things. And in his instruction, it says, Matthew 6 and 33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And the thing about it is, when you are seeking him, you will be able to get clarity on what that calling is step by step. Don't expect to have the full strategy, the full layout, but it's important to accept that calling because that's why you're here. We are not here for our own selfish gain. We are not here to have the house, have the cars, have the clothes. It's a bonus because he loves us that much that he gives us extra. But we're here to fulfill the assignment that we have to advance his kingdom. So that's why it's important for us to submit to that call. Otherwise, you're just making life way harder on yourself, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Go ahead, Kayla.
I believe that figuring out what peace looks like for you is very important, right? Like
Mhm.
the things that other individuals find peaceful, I don't find peaceful. Like other people go on vacations and they go and they do a whole bunch of things that doesn't look like peace for me because it feels like I'm doing work because I travel all the time already, right? So peace for me looks like, wow, I can just sit in my house and do nothing. No one's asking anything of me. Don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to make sure this wig is on, even though it's late, honey. Shout out to Janae.
Okay.
Okay. You know, but like, I don't have to do any of those things. So understanding that, you know, when you are walking in that I am, your I am does not look like the next person. And you have to realize that the path that you're on, that you're predestined for, right? Everyone is here for a reason, for a purpose. And just like you said, it is to build God's kingdom. So when you're able to say, okay, this is what I have been called to do. Now I have to figure out how that looks for me. Because all of us are called to a space. But we're not called to the same spaces. Our assignment isn't the same in the same spaces. Right? So even though we might be called just as to this I Am conference, our assignment is not the same. So we will not talk about the same things. We will not engage in the same with the same women. We will not reach the same people because our assignment is that specific. But unless I know what that looks like for me, I'm going to be very much so lost trying to keep up with the next person when their assignment was never mine.
Yeah, that's so important that you said that. When you really walk in your I am, it's fully embracing your identity, embracing who you are, embracing your struggles, your joys, every single thing, literally every step of your life was created for your purpose, on purpose for your purpose. And when you accept that, then you realize there literally is no competition. There's no competition. And I say that like, it don't matter who you are. Yes, we can partner. We can create something together because I am me and you are you. And the problem starts to happen when women start thinking they compete with somebody else or trying to be like the next person. And then you start trying to take their idea and then you start trying to do what they're doing. It's like, just be yourself. What did God tell you to do? Go do that. You know, I think it's very, 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 very important. And I really pray that women really understand that they are more than being a woman. They're more than a mom. They're more than a wife. They are more than a sister, you know, more than a daughter. And I like to tell people I'm extremely, you know, hella Nigerian. My parents are hella Nigerian, you know. And my mom used to tell me, you know, I just kind of watched. I was very ambitious, like since birth. Like it's just something I think I've just always known that there was more. Like I don't know, so I always felt it. But you know, always ambitious. And my mom would, you know, okay. I think when I graduated from college, okay, we got to find a husband. And I'm like, I don't have to. Listen, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna be the ambitious Nancy. I'm gonna do all whatever. And the person that's designed for me will embrace me exactly who I am. And I just want women to understand that, you know, we were created for purpose beyond our titles, you know, and that's extremely important. And when I think about just walking in your I am, I'm curious to know how you ladies have gotten to a place to, one, how did you find out who you were? Like, what was your process? And then how, like, what caused you to say yes to the assignment?
Oh, me first. I'll do this
Go
one.
ahead, girl, go.
I love this story because I think we get so caught up on who we think we're supposed to be that we really do not understand who God has called us to be. So we operate in this space of comfortability, right? Like I'm comfortable being here because this is what I'm good at. This is what I've been doing, right? This entire time not knowing that God is literally putting us in those spaces so we can gain those skills, gain those experiences so that we can do what we've always been destined to do. So this for me, rebrand land, everything that I'm doing, I am running a campaign now called I Am a Founder. Call me Founder, right? Because I don't fit in these spaces of I'm a graphic designer. That's something I used to do. That's something that I'm good at, right? But it does not compromise what I am doing. I'm not a teacher. I used to be a teacher. I used to be in the classroom. I cannot fall underneath that title anymore. So as I'm moving through these spaces and operating in the different kingdoms of God, of creativity, of education, of community, now all those working pieces I now apply to my business, right? And the trigger for me of when I decided to step into my calling and really do what God has called me to do, I had no idea this is what He meant. I had no idea. You couldn't tell me 3 years ago that I would be the founder of a 6-figure moving into 7-figure agency. You wouldn't be able to tell me that. You wouldn't be able to tell me that the individuals that I'm serving and working with and creating for and alongside of are all of God's people, are giants. I call them giants. They are main characters because they have also received this vision from God, right? But what I did know back in those days was that I've always been made to create spaces. No matter what space I was in, I was creating something for other people to thrive, right? And I felt good about it. I knew that whatever it was that I was putting together, it's because I listened to the community, it's because I listened to the people that are around me, and because I received direct vision from Spirit that I knew it was going to work. But I did that in a particular area. I did it in the schools that I was working for. I did it in the nonprofits that I was helping, right? It wasn't at a scale in which I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. But it was all a part of what I was doing. So the trigger for me when I said, all right, I got to leave, I got to do this thing, was when at the end of the day, God is not going to give us these talents and skills if He meant for us to be broke. Okay. That's people to understand that. Christian, holy, does not mean poverty. It does not exist. Okay. So the reason why God is giving you all of these skills and these talents, it is for you to capitalize off of. So I am in these spaces where I'm doing all of these amazing things, but I'm not getting the recognition that I deserve for it. And it's now starting to become an expectation of me that Kayla is going to go above and beyond because that's the person that Kayla is. But as far as making sure that she's compensated for the work that she's doing, we don't have to do that. Agreed. That ain't true. I'm not here for that. Right? So after 6 years of working in this particular school and building the technology curriculum that I did, right? I worked in this school. I built this technology curriculum from the ground up. It was just me. I was the only tech teacher in the network. The pandemic now rolls around. I'm now helping this network do a whole bunch of different things. No compensation whatsoever. Right. But I did it because the need needed to be met. Our kids needed to learn. Our teachers needed to teach. And I knew how to do it. Right. I was set in this position where I was like, all right, God, I know you're calling me to do something else. I don't know anything outside of education. I've literally only held a job. I've only ever worked with kids. Right. My first job I was 12 working in a daycare. Okay. My little sister's daycare. It went on from there. I had no retail job. I was working with kids. So now I'm being faced with this challenge where He's calling me to do something different, and I don't know what that different is. But I know He's telling me to leave. And all I keep hearing is just go and trust me. And trust me.
Gotta obey.
Leave
Gotta
and
obey. Gotta obey.
You sure this is what you want me to do? That's how me and Spirit. I don't know how y'all talk.
That's how we all.
Oh yeah, we be talking. Yeah.
But I'm over here like I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I clear as day. I've given you everything you need. Leave.
Amen.
And no one understood it. Shit, I didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on. But I remember calling my mama. I was like, God is telling me to leave the school. She said, okay, you gonna go to another school? I said, nah, He's telling me to leave. I gotta go. I've really gotta go.
I want to pause right there because this is really important. You said, just go and trust me. Like that's what your intuition, that's what your spirit is telling you to do. And it's clashing against your rational mind. And I need everyone on this platform going to watch this, who's watching it now, who's watching it later. You have to get to a point, one, where you can hear your intuition, and two, where you learn to trust it and surrender to it. Oftentimes it's going to clash against what your natural mind is saying. And when we obey and we walk in this I am, right, which is your highest self, you can't even hit your highest self when you're out of whack and you're not in alignment. It won't even happen.
Absolutely.
But when you're there, honor it and obey it because it knows more than you. It's so important. And I love, Kay, that you mentioned about this broke thing. Like, no, like when you are operating in your highest self,
Mm-hmm.
the income is inevitable. And God showed me the framework for I am, which is you will increase by design. Because you are walking your I am, you will increase your influence. It's
Mm-hmm.
inevitable. It's automatic. And then your impact becomes accelerated. So Kayla, you just talked about your business and how you just, I mean, 6 figures, we working on the 7.
Mm-hmm.
The impact, you can't even get that amount of money unless your impact that you're making
Absolutely.
is significant. And then you multiply your income. That is
Mm-hmm.
the framework that God has given to us. So when you walk in your I am, those are the fruits and the benefits of just being what God designed you to be. So I just need to say that. Please trust your intuition because it's so important. I know sometimes it sounds
Absolutely.
crazy, but it knows. It knows.
Yeah.
I want to pass it over to you, Lanasia.
Yeah, I was all into that story. I'm like, ooh, where we going next? I love that story, Kayla, and I love your excitement and your eagerness to share it because we have to share our testimonies. We have to really allow people to see the possibilities through us sharing our stories. So I really, really love you sharing that story with the energy that you bring. And can you ask the question again? What was the initial
Yeah,
question?
I'm so sorry. Yeah. How did you get into this space of your I am?
Mhm.
What was that process for you?
Um, Similar to Kayla, literally making no sense. I am a life coach, a successful life coach from the east side of Detroit, right? So, first of all, what? Like, life coach? That doesn't even make sense. I never saw full time entrepreneurship. I never saw I never saw success like at the level that I've been able to achieve it for myself personally in my business. But I had this glimpse of possibility that God showed me, and something in my heart had that same feeling of there's more, like there's something more, and God was always giving me the vision for more. It just required my surrender to it. So once I was able to really just, like you said, pass all logic, pass all knowledge, and really tap into the spirit that was speaking to me and guiding me and showing me, the direction that I should be going in. Once I surrendered to that, like my favorite scripture has become, it used to be Matthew 6:33, and I look because it's on my wall over there, but it's really becoming 2 Corinthians 3:17, where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, because in his presence, on that divine path, when you are near to the voice of God and you are trusting it, you're like Peter, you're walking on water. Only when you're looking away, looking at everybody else and what they're doing, do you start to doubt yourself. And honestly, I surrendered to my I am at the age of 19 when I
Mm.
really like got into service of people. And as I was listening to Kayla, I wanted to say to her, because she was like, I didn't think that I would be doing this. And I'm thinking, girl, you ain't even seen nothing yet. You don't even know. Like 7 figures is scratching the surface of what God is about to do in your life.
Amen.
And I just think about, my surrender to serving others has shown me more and more of what I need and who I am and how I'm supposed to operate at any given moment. And that's why I tell people now, like, yes, I'm an author. Yes, I'm a speaker. Yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I have an agency. Yes, I have a community. But most importantly, I am an instrument. And what that allows me to do is be available at any given moment, whatever room he puts me in, because my I am is bigger than a title. My I am is an assignment. And in that assignment, you never know how God is going to use you. But if you're saying, oh, wait, I'm not the I'm not the one to be speaking on this topic, you're going to miss the moment to be able to serve the person that he's giving you the experience to,
Mm.
that he's giving you the moment to meet. So I'm always just fluid to that. And even the other day I did a podcast and it just freed so many people. My mission is to help women to see themselves, be themselves, and free themselves. And what that means is really understand who you are in Christ. Once you see that, you can embody that, walk boldly in it, and that's when you are able to be set free. And the other day, God broke some shackles off me and he healed me from some things that I didn't even know I needed healing from. And I talked to my coach about it and he was like, that's what happens when you're serving other people. God is supplying your needs. So it wasn't about trying to get Lanasia's needs met. I learned how to operate my I am when I stopped focusing on my needs and started believing that God was Jireh. The moment that I started believing that he was Jireh, he was able to do more than I was able to even imagine. That's what
Amen.
Ephesians 3:20 says. But if I'm focused on how I'm going to get the money, how I'm going to get the people, how I'm going to get the ideas, then I'm limiting God to what he's able to do. And that's why Kayla's business is thriving in the way that it is. And that's why your business is thriving in the way that it is. And that's why my business is thriving in the way that it is. Not because we're chasing after things, but we're chasing after the mission. We're chasing after the
Ooh,
responsibility. We're chasing after the assignment. We're chasing after the I am. We're
yeah.
chasing after that identity in him. And the more that we see ourselves in him, the more that we're able to show up in our authority.
I love that. I was getting feel, girl. I'm like, whoo,
Mhm.
keep going, girl. No, but you made me think about again this whole entire conference. When I tell you, I got back from Nigeria from a retreat, and I think God just parked me. He parked me with sickness. Actually, I was sick for a month. I couldn't talk to
Mm,
nobody. Okay, I just needed to just rest, and all of these ideas were coming, boom, boom, boom. And he gives me the conference, I Am Change conference. And says, okay, get all the women. All right, boom. So it gives me the whole vision. But the I am change, the way he broke it down, and for me to understand that, God gives you the assignment for people.
absolutely.
Okay. So you are assigned a group of people that you are to change, literally.
Mm,
Like what your assignment, when he gives you these gifts, I say the gifts is not for yourself, right? The gifts and the
mhm.
talent, the gifts and the talents are for people. Like
Yeah.
that's purpose work. It's about people. So it's whether you become, I don't know, it's a speaker or a businesswoman or a strategist, like it's
Mhm.
about the people. And because you're fully operating in your gifts, people are changed from that. But what is
100%.
even deeper is when you're walking in your I am, you first are changed.
Mhm.
And I do not want anybody who's listening to this to think that walking in your I am is just this easy thing and it's just a switch and like you're just going to be this prosperous person and because you've accepted it, now everything's perfect. When you accept the call, when you decide to walk in your I am, I want you to understand that you're going to be tested at the highest level because
Mhm.
people and transformation are tied to you. So
Mhm.
best believe that the universe is going to say, do you really want it? Are you really
Mhm.
about that life? Like, are you really trying to do this for real? Because I'm about to test you.
Yeah.
You will be tested. And through that, you're going to be transformed because you
Mhm.
will prevail. When you say yes to it, you're going to prevail and you become a new person for your assignment for other
Absolutely.
people. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. What you said was so what you said was, it's not going to be prosperous. And I want the people that are listening to really shift their perspective towards prosperity. So when you say that, I know what you meant. And I just want to, you just make sure, we're highlighting that because some people will think, well, it's going to be low, it's going to be dark, it's going to be, but the thing about it is when you really are trusting in the plan, it's all prosperous. You understand that being challenged, when God is challenging me, when he's shaping me, when he's molding me, I'm like, I'm so grateful that he chose me for this challenge. I'm so grateful that he sees me fit to continuously correct me and, reshape my focus and reshape my mind and reshape my heart because I'm chosen for that. He's graced me with that
Mm,
challenge. He's graced me with the capacity to be able to handle the weight. It's never heavy. It's never too heavy, and that is a form of prosperity.
Yeah.
Being shaped and molded and groomed in that way and pruned, like that's a form of prosperity. And I want us to understand that.
mindset.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I like that. It's really when it says consider it joy, your
There we
what is
go.
that scripture? Consider it joy, your tribulations or your trials, something like that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But really, we should because it's we talked about this, Lanesia, it's spiritual boot
Mhm.
camp, right? Your
100%.
character, like when you say
Yeah.
I am change,
Mhm.
first of all, the ordinary person, right? That before you accept the call, is not even ready for the assignment yet. It's you got to go through training, you got to go through boot camp, you got to go through it so you can be right. And I just want everyone to understand, like, you will be changed. You will be changed, and others will be changed because the assignment, because you were chosen. Whatever you go through really won't break you. Now, sometimes, like, one day I was like, God, I promise you, this was last year, y'all. But part of it was my fault because I was not taking care of all of the
It's always our fault.
areas of my life. Your fault sometimes, girl. I promise you, one day I'm crying. I'm like, God, I'm not her. Nope. You made it. I'm not. But you're not taking care of like, nobody told you to go that hard. Like, man, why are you're not even in your spiritual alignment anymore. You're not taking care of yourself physically. You're an emotional wreck. You damn near got depression. Like, you're not even, like, this is not it. This God looking at me like, that's not what I told you to do. Nobody told you to be a hot mess. Get yourself together. Take care of yourself. Eat right. Pray.
100%.
Run. Meditate. Like, do the things that you need to do to be in alignment. Because I can't use you when you're out of alignment. You can't even hear from me. There's points where
Bingo.
I probably did not hear from God for like probably 4 months. And that's all. Like, me and God were communicating every day. So for me not to hear from God, I was like, but I couldn't because I had anxiety. Like, I was not even my right self. And so I just want everyone to understand, yes, you're going to go through these challenges, but when you begin to nurture every area of your life intentionally, you're going to be able to navigate those challenges in really just navigation. You're just going to be a boop, 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 even when you do feel like you're breaking down. And I'm interested to know, how are you ladies able to navigate? What are some practical things that you all do to stay in alignment? It's one thing to get in alignment and say yes to the call, but I promise you, staying in alignment is not as easy as people just be in alignment.
No, ma'am. Kayla, you want to take it away first?
Oh, yeah, because, baby, listen. I love God and God loves me, but the way that people be peopling, I'm like, Lord, I'm not sure who you really want me to be in this moment, because I got some words. But I know you might not want me to say that. I think that what I do practically to make sure that I'm always in alignment with God is I listen very, very intently, not to just what he's saying, but listening to my own body, listening to my own mind. If I'm exhausted and I can't do it, right? I say no, and I'm comfortable with saying no. I have reached this point in my life where I realize I have done the work. I've paid my dues. I've made sure everything's in line. So whenever something takes place and it just does not feel like it is supposed to be there, it's not supposed to be there. If it feels off, it is off. Like, I'm not going to question what my intuition and what spirit is telling me. So there have been individuals that have come to Rebrand Land's doors, and because I don't hear from spirit, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I think that I need to reroute you somewhere else, and maybe you could spin the block because you're always allowed to. But until I hear from spirit, there's nothing that I can do, because I know what I'm called to do. I can't strategize your business if your business is not in alignment with building the kingdom. It is what it is, right? I listen very closely to what my body is telling me. Even when it comes to practical business practices, I talk about this a lot because it's something that people do. I run an agency, right? However, there are things that we can do right now as founders, creating something completely different, that we don't have to follow the same things that were laid before us. For example, I have like 20 people on this team. We have scheduled blackout weeks every month where we are not doing work. There is no client flow. There is no nothing. Our clients understand because they are resting. We are going 24/7 hard all day. And now we have a week where we can realign with ourselves, whatever that looks like. It just doesn't mean that we do work on this, right? I promote self-care. There are days that I do not speak to anyone, typically on Mondays. I don't like to talk. And I talk before 11 a.m. Like that is how I maintain myself. Because before 11 a.m., I'm speaking to God and I'm speaking to myself. I need to align with me before I align with other people. But that's how I make sure that I am staying on track. If I can't look at myself and my schedule and say, all right, we need to do X, Y, Z, I need to carry out this plan, I need to do this. How am I doing this for clients? I'm not. It's false, right? Yeah. So I make sure that I'm paying very close attention to not only myself, but the people around me. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this because I'm not sure who I'm talking to, but you are out of alignment with the people you hang around because you believe that these individuals are supposed to be coming with you right now, and they're not.
Period.
So as you grow and you transition into this new space, if you rebrand, if you will, into this person that you were always supposed to be, those same individuals have fulfilled their purpose in your life. Absolutely. They were there to teach you something. They were there to show you something. You were there to gain a lesson and experience, but they're not meant to come with you. So the reason why you feel stagnant right now is because you're carrying day weight. And God is showing you that you got to let them folk go, and you still, oh, come on, sis. Let me show you how to start this. Come on, sis. Let me show you how to do this. Come on, bro. Come on, mom. Come on, dad. Come on, sister. Let's do it. I've got all of this. I want you to, and they not getting it. They not understanding, but you are losing sight and losing focus on what you were supposed to do.
The distractions, pretty much.
And I'm not going to say that these individuals are not going to come around, right? Because like I said, people can spin the block, but it's not your job to bring them with you. It's your job to fulfill the calling, fulfill the purpose, so that when it happens, you don't live in a state of bitterness. You don't live in a state of, oh, they weren't with me when I just started. You don't live in that area. You say, I created a path. And now everyone that's watched me on this journey and watched me do this thing and watched me create such an amount of success when it didn't make any sense to anyone. You've got to be Noah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lenasia, and then I'm going to come back to your comment, Kayla.
Oh, that's good. I just love listening to y'all talk. Look, when you're the speaker and you're like in the presence of other dynamic people, you're like, I'm here to glean. Okay? So look, you can cut my mic off. But nevertheless, one thing that I do, it's extremely important, and this is what I tell everybody: don't be reactive, be proactive in making sure that you are aligned. And what I mean by that is most people will start to feel out of alignment, and then they start to look for the things to do to get back. But it is a daily process of laying the foundation. So I have a 5 a.m. coaching community of women all over, right? I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I have to lay my foundation. I have to check in with me first. Like Kayla said, I'm checking in with me. So number one, I'm reading my word every day. So if we're just talking about the practical steps, I'm reading my word every day. I do breakfast and Bible study. I'm praying every day. I'm meditating every day. I am sitting with myself every day. So meditation sometimes is guidance. Meditation sometimes is just literally listening to the voice that is within me, that is giving me that direction, that is giving me those creative ideas. Like I can't do that if I'm always busy. A big part of the work is the creative process of the work, is being able to envision things. I am not an overworker. I am the queen, the biggest advocate of I don't overwork, okay? Because I'm a life coach. And a big part of the work that I do requires me to hear from the voice of God so that I can lead and guide other people. I cannot do that in Lenasia's own authority. I need the spirit. And if I'm always busy, the to-do list is more important than the to listen list, then I'm going to be out of alignment. So those practical things are extremely important for me, making sure that I'm consuming myself with content that elevates me. I am on a high vibrational lifestyle. So the food that I consume, I'm mostly raw food living. So most of my meals are raw food because it has energetic power. It's not dead food. I'm putting food that fuels me into my body. I'm fasting once a week. We fast once a week in the community because how do you develop the fruits of the spirit? spirit. If you are not able to get to the spirit because your body's always working and digesting food, you're never actually still. You know, you're never actually still if you never fast, because your body's always working. It's always in motion, doing something, working on your behalf to break things down. So when are you taking that time to actually be still? You're not. So I'm fasting once a week. I'm reading my word daily. I'm consuming myself with podcasts and, surrounding myself, like Kayla said, surrounding myself with the right people that are like-minded or are elevated in their thinking, that are going to take me higher. So these things are, extremely important. Creating that culture of success in your life, that culture of health, that culture of wealth. It is a culture. When you look at your life, the things that you're spending most of your time doing and most of your time thinking about, that's what you're manifesting. But if
Yes.
I tell people, it's so simple. I'm actually doing a 7-day boot camp with some people from my community, because it's a beta that I'll be launching this summer. And it's a 7-day mindset reset. And it's raw food. It's it's very intentional content, very intentional conversations, very intentional meditation practices, very intentional reading, because it doesn't really take that long to get new manifestations in your life. But most people can't commit to just 7 days. Most people don't want to commit to a sacrifice
Anything.
for 7 days. And
Mhm.
it's actually a problem when you think about it, because one of the fruits of the spirit is self control. And I tell my community, if you cannot say no to food for 24 hours, you are in a danger zone, because that means that you have an unhealthy mind where you cannot control your impulses. And whatever you cannot control is controlling you. That has become your
Mhm.
God.
Mhm.
And God is a jealous God.
Mhm.
So think about any area that you are, any level that of success that you've achieved in your life. And when you start to practice fasting, when you start to practice meditation, when you start to really practice tapping into that spirit, you
Mhm.
will be boundless. There is infinite possibility that's available to you. Why limit yourself to this flesh and to this material and to this world that we can see, when there is an infinite world of possibility that we can tap into and actually bring those things into the natural realm? Why limit yourself?
Yeah.
And it is a practice. So sorry.
No, go ahead. No, it's two things that you was both of you guys were speaking. There's an intentionality in
Mm-hmm.
your lives, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding what to say yes to and what to say no to for your assignment, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you know the path that you're on. You have to be so, again, in alignment and so aware that it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't do this. I will do that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to consume that, but I will consume that. I won't
Mm-hmm.
hang out with her, but I will hang out with her, right? It's
Yep.
literally, because your assignment is your compass. Your
Absolutely.
assignment becomes the focus, and it directs your decision making and your choices so
Yep.
you can get closer to completing it. When you
Mhm.
say yes to unnecessary things, unnecessary foods, when you say yes to unnecessary content, all of it, it pulls you further away from the assignment. The second thing, Kayla, that you made me think about, which I just got done speaking to my mom about, you said like you're not even gonna wait for, like, if your spirit says something, you're not even gonna wait for it to manifest.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just it's in alignment.
Yep.
And one thing that I have had a problem in this, because I'm such a kind person and I be trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. Now I'm in a place where whatever my spirit's saying, I'm not even gonna wait for it to manifest, because every
Mhm.
time I go against that intuition, because of your actions, I'm looking at human beings' actions, my intuition ends up being right. So
Yep.
this is, if you all, anybody that's listening to this, if there are people in your life, it doesn't matter how much you love them, doesn't matter how cool they are, how helpful or supportive they are. If your spirit is telling you something about them, don't wait for it to manifest. No one said you had to hate these people or
Yep.
anti X, Y, and Z, but your spirit is trying to take you up to a place where with this hole that you're holding on to, that person can't go with you until you let
Mhm.
them go and cut them off. You won't be able to get to the higher level. So I'm so glad that you said
That's
that.
good.
Even with clients too, with whatever. If your
Yeah.
spirit is not in alignment, just say no. Just
Yep.
I
I was
know.
my with this particular person, and I was like, call my sister. I said, this person is so cool, but there's something my spirit just ain't. And I just decided to, nope, stop it, Nate. There you go again. There you go again, trying to look at the front and not listen to this. Stop thinking with this, because this, it thinks it knows, but it doesn't know much. Actually, it doesn't know much. But yeah, so we'll be on this call for forever. I wanted to bring it to a close. And what can people expect from you both at the I Am Change Global Empowerment Conference, completely free, y'all? So you hear them today. If you've taken anything from this conversation, just understand that we're 10xing it March 25th and March 26th. What can they expect from you? And I'll go with Kayla, and then I'll swing it back over to Lanasia.
Yeah, so I will be speaking on leadership. So I am a transformational leadership coach, as opposed to just a transformational coach. I deal with leaderships and people that are in leadership positions. And understand that even if you are just starting your business, there is an aspect of leadership that you're going into. So I want to show you how to view leadership through a human lens. How do we take this new age approach to how we're dealing with other individuals, where you are the first person that needs the solution and not the people around you.
I love it.
I'm gonna make sure I'm on all of these with my notebook.
Listen, people better come with their notebook. It's a free masterclass. Really, a 2-day masterclass. Okay.
Yes. So what you can expect from me is like the energy, the fun, but most importantly, my mission is to help people to understand the value of embodying the ideal version of themselves, so that then they can execute at the level that they intend to. It's not about the doing first, it's about the becoming. So once you really adopt this new identity about who you really are, who you think you are determines what you do.
Yeah.
So we're going to be reshaping your identity. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I'll be asking you all a lot of questions. And in that moment, my goal is for every person that's on my session to leave already embodying that new identity and just motivated to execute with a sense of urgency.
Yes, I'm super excited. Y'all hear it. I'm telling you, it's 2 days of just powerhouse magic. I'm telling you, Black girl magic at its finest, from the speakers to the host to, we have a spoken word, quick little segment, empowerment, motivational segment. I mean, everyone's coming with amazing energy. These are all highly professional women who, again, this is completely free. And I want to name that they said yes so women can be greater. And what we are doing in real time is collective impact, collective action in real time. And we're making HERstory. I say it all the time. We are HERstory in the making. And we're in real life showing you what it means to come together and be, I say, sheroes. We are superheroes, and we are the Avengers. Okay, we're coming together to be the Avengers, and we are going to change the world. And I'm so excited to have you all. I just like to tell people, thank you for saying yes to the vision. It's really God's vision. I am just a vessel who was selected to execute, and I'm going to execute because that's what I do. But it's God's vision, and you said yes to it. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for saying yes to March 25th and March 26th.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this experience. Thank you.
Super excited.
All right, ladies, have a good night. Get some rest, Lanasia, because I know you're going to be up at 3 a.m.
Okay, tired. Okay, good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.